dear ladies and gentlemen, what I'm planning to do tomorrow is to swap these two babies between them. I mean the engines. This is my weekend drive. It's the 124 wagon, and it has got an OM605 out of a W202 C-Class. It has got tubular manifold, whole set HA431V if I remember correctly, intercooler piping and so on, 7.5mm diesel mech and pump, and this is the other engine. It's pretty much the same as as far as engine goes, but this has got a 2260V turbo, somewhat newer pump because it's the second one I built and it came out better. The thing is though that in the wagon I think I melted pre-chamber, and what I plan on doing is to build a bulletproof engine inside on an engine stand, as it should be done for the budget build, because I want to put a huge turbo on it. And until then, because I'm not going to use the budget build, I'm going to enjoy my weekend car with this engine in it. So I'm going to take out both engines. I am going to put the setup from the wagon to this engine, and I'm going to bolt this engine on that transmission and use it. You are going to be frustrated, and I don't even plan on keeping my Bosch 044, because on this I run an electric lift pump, and there the plate is deleted on the pump. And on this one it's the stock lift pump from the OM602 pump or whatever, OM605 pump, and I want to use that because I want it to be as reliable as possible until I just enjoy this car. And I'm going to come here tomorrow morning, drive them both inside and start the timer, and let's see how much time it takes me to put this engine in that car with all that setup. What's up guys, it's the next day and I am going to, oh, it's open, start up this beast on 4 cylinders probably, and I'm going to get it inside the workshop. And then the budget build I'm going to leave outside, and until it's warm outside I will take the engine out of that and only take the engine out of this once it starts right away, but you can tell it's not going right. But works at least, don't have to pull it. Oh, it's not smoking, it's just an optical illusion.
Then I'll bring the budget build and we can start working. Let me grab the keys of the budget build.
So hopefully I'm not going to go home with my daily driver today, but with the wagon. We'll see. I hope that I can do it. You are going to be frustrated, but one day is by myself really not that big of a time to get two engines out and install one with all the accessories and everything, so we'll see. I'm super frustrated. Can you see something? Because I can't.
I think I'll leave it over here. This works. Yeah, I'll bring it a bit closer later, but that's okay-ish for now. So first, I'll take out the engine of the budget build, because that's outside. And hopefully, I can do that in a few hours. Still don't know if I should take out the transmission and engine all together, or should I just pull out the engine. I think if I can remove the upper bolts in between them, I will only take out the engine, but that's sometimes a pain in the ass. I still have to think about it. I will eat something in that time while thinking, and then we'll crack on.
Yo guys, I pretty much started. I removed the plug to drain the coolant. I'm a bit frustrated, and usually when you are doing a swap or an engine change, whatever, you are going to be frustrated during the prep work, because you see I installed the car here and the engine crane was over there, so I couldn't get it in between. I had to lower the car, move it back, get the engine crane in. It was pretty much a disaster. Anyway, lost like an hour over there, but now I'm officially starting the engine change, and I'm going to start the stopwatch. And now both cars are running still. I just started to drain the coolant, but let's see how much it takes. I'm going to start the timer now. Let's see how much time passed. So 52 minutes, still running, and I already unmounted every connection from the engine bay to the engine. Not that they are very much, but cooling system all out. Turbo, I will leave it on and I will take the whole engine assembly out with it. Glow plugs, all the sensors, everything taken out. Belt, power steering pump. What else? Pretty much all the connections to the alternator, to the starter motor. Everything's apart now. I'm going to put the engine crane to it. No, actually first I'm going to try and remove the bolts from behind the engine. And if I can do that, I will leave the transmission on. If I cannot, then I will undo the transmission mount, shifter lever, everything, and take the transmission assembly out as well with the engine. Check this out. Engine and trans are out and they are inside. It's over here together with the the 2260 turbo system, and this is still in one piece. Let's see the time. Actually, now I'm going to pause it and eat something, have a tea break, and then I continue. 2 hours and 18 minutes. Pause. Not bad. I'd say not bad for only one person working. Okay guys, I'm going to unmount all the unnecessary stuff from this engine, like the AC compressor and things that I won't use, like all the exhaust manifold and the ancillaries. I will also check if I can use this alternator or should I use mine. I will unmount the gearbox, all the clutch stuff, and then clean a bit the engine because I don't want to put it like this in the wagon. And I will also have to swap between them the oil pans and the oil pickups because they are not the same. This will be far too close to my sway bar on the wagon. Okay, took out the engine from the wagon as well. It's over here on the stand, and this is the one from the budget build, and this is where it should go. I had a problem while removing the clutch, the pressure plate from the flywheel, and also the flywheel came off quite hard. I don't know if I should be concerned or not, but anyway, I'll have a few minutes break because I'm quite hungry and already pretty tired, but then I'll crack on changing everything in between the two engines that has to be changed, like the oil, pressure pickup, oil pan. I think I'm going to change also the alternators, obviously the turbo system, and I have to also change the whole water pump housing and water pump system, because this is specific to this wagon, and if you watch closely on this one is different. And also a quite embarrassing thing that is that this is broken. I don't know if it's broken because I just lifted it from also the exhaust manifold, or it was broken before, I don't know, but once I take it down I have to weld that around. Anyway, I've seen worse also. And I also have to swap some minor parts, think how I'm going to do the fuel system, because this pump ran on a fuel pressure regulator on the return line, and the one from the budget build is just the banjo with the restriction and the mechanical lift pump. I think I'm going to use those, and I'm going to bypass my electric pump. We'll see. I will think about it for a moment, and we'll see. I also have to install this sort of blanking plate on that engine. Yeah, there is quite a few things to do while I'm here. Like I have the two engines out, and it would be also very nice to give a good clean for the engine bay, but next time. I hope I don't have to change this engine very often, but it would be too much time now to get it outside. I'm only, so it's quite a mess, and to get it outside and pressure wash it and whatsoever. So next step is to change the parts, and then I'll throw in the engine. So let's start working again. I just noticed that I had some hairline cracks over here on the disc, on the clutch disc, so I welded them up. I hope it's not going to cause a problem. We'll see later. Yo guys, engine's in. It's bolted to the transmission, they are connected. It dropped beautifully on the engine supports, and only thing left to do is to connect everything. Let's show the time as well, just to be 8 hours and 25 minutes. I'm well past that. 8 hours that I said maybe I can do it. But let's be honest, I had to weld the exhaust manifold, the clutch disc, and stuff that I did not plan to do. I will have to call this a day and go home. Already my girlfriend called me and she's mad at me because it's 9 o'clock already, even past. And I'm super frustrated because the engine won't turn. So I pretty much fucked something. I tried by hand and it's just turning a bit, then a click, and I can only turn it backwards. So I fucked something up, either with the clutch or it's not clearing something in the oil pan. I don't know. I'll have to take it apart and check. Great. Problem was this sucker. It's the RPM signal for the EDC pump that's originally on the OM605 engines, and it's too long, and the bigger Sprinter single mass flywheel that I run on this thing simply did not clear it, so it was blocking the engine. Now it spins freely. Okay, I am super excited, as you can tell by my smile, because finally the wagon is running, and it's running good. I installed the second engine, so this is the budget builds engine, and while installing, over there, if you can see, it's this hydraulic line that is going to my SLS rear suspension. And I freaking dropped something on it, I guess the turbo, because I installed it with the turbo system. And the line cracked and it was leaking the hydraulic fluid, because that's the high pressure line all over the place. That was on Monday, and I was really frustrated after like 14 hours of work. You are going to be frustrated. I'm super frustrated. It was pretty much a disaster. It's something like that it took me to swap out this engine, and I was super frustrated, but now it runs great. Let me just show you. What I did actually with that high pressure line is that I handbrake on, out of gear. It's warmed the engine, so I don't have to wait too much. Sometimes the starter does that I know, but whatever. A bit low on oil, but that's not a big issue. But it runs great. Ignore this sound. Cooling's fine, charging's fine. Oof. But that's black smoke, not blue smoke. There's a big difference. Shut it off. So, made it running. I'm very excited, and I just took a ride in it around the block, and it runs pretty sweet. I did not want to get like under full load and stuff. I just made a few tours over here, and I wanted to see if the water temp, oil pressure, everything is just as it should, it's not leaking anything, and so on. But I'm very excited. I cannot tell you how much excited I am just to be able to drive this thing again. So yeah, next step is this weekend, if I have the time, I will build a full exhaust system for it, because it's only the downpipe that I have, and as you can see it's full of smoke all the time. And now when I unmounted the compressor housing of the turbocharger, I saw that it has quite a big, let's call it external EGR, so it just takes in the exhaust gases instead of fresh air from under the hood, and that's not nice. That has got much higher temperatures, it doesn't have any oxygen in it, so it's not what I want. So I will build a full exhaust system for it and make it a bit nicer, because I am going to a car meeting with this thing like in 3 weeks or so. And let me tell you also what's my plan with the budget build, because obviously I'm not going to leave it like this. The plan is that I will build the engine that's on the engine stand now for it. Big turbo as a low pressure turbocharger, and the 2260 that I have now will remain also, and that's going to be the high pressure turbocharger. I'm going to try to build some sort of compound system with a variable geometry high pressure and a fixed geometry low pressure turbo. Something big, I mean, like TB90 maybe, or if I cannot get that much money for it, then let's say a HX52 or something like that. And until the engine's out, I will take all these bits that are not necessary out, and I think I'm going to do some more weight saving over here, and also paint the engine compartment and the inside of the car in a somewhat clearer color, let's say like rally cars. And if I get motivated enough, I might even do a roll cage for it, because plan is to build big horsepower out of this thing. So if you have any ideas in plus, let me know. But this is my basic idea. It's pretty much not going to be any budget project from now on, because I would really like to build a seriously fast car out of this thing. Cheers! I forgot my keys. I have to do another engine swap until tomorrow.